If you want to know how someone really feels about you, ask them to impersonate you. That's what I've learned from doing this podcast is when we're setting up, we'll be doing a sound check and Robert will imitate how he thinks I will sound into my mic. And it is deeply offensive. And I really do wonder, I'm like, do you like me or do you freaking hate my guts?
Without indoctrinating myself, I will say this.
I mean, incriminating? Indoctrinating means to prescribe yourself a doctrine. Like it would be like I'm indoctrinating you into Scientology.
Yeah, without indoctrinating myself into Scientology, and I say that before I say anything. Without incriminating myself, I will say that in general, I have met several couples where I've just kind of assumed they were very happy and very in love until I hear them imitate the other person. Like I'll see a couple, like we've been on vacation with couples like this. Well, they'll be very nice where they're like, you know, one person will say to the other, they'll be like, hey, did you remember to grab the passports? And they'll just be like, hey, did you remember to grab the passports? Yeah, I got them. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's like, is that what you hear?
It's micro glimpses into the way that like someone truly perceives the other person. And you do go, if that's how you're perceiving them, you don't like them.
Yeah.
Midnight Milkshake.
Well, it's like a seemingly happy couple will be telling the story of how they got engaged, and she'll be like, and yeah, he led me into this garden. It was really beautiful, and the light was perfect. And then he got down on one knee, and, you know, he was like, oh, will you marry me? And I said yes. And it's like, if that's what you heard, why would you say yes?
And she said yes.
Yeah. And then I asked her if she would marry me, and she said, yeah, as long as you do the dishes. And, you know, we're going to be together forever.
Yeah. Anyway.
And maybe they will.
Something I noticed. Do you want to impersonate me the way that you did?
Yeah. So when we're setting up, I go for my mic, I go testing, Robert's mic. And then for Dana's mic, I go, is that what you hear when I talk? Is that what you hear?
Is that what he hears when I talk? That's insane. If so. I sound very sophisticated. Okay. Yeah.
The imitation would be, I sound very sophisticated. But to say that would just obviously paint me in a negative light, which brings me to, obviously, all right. A lot of people on the internet have started speculating that Dak Shepard is a bad partner and husband to Kristen Bell.
Yes.
And people are taking a lot of like his podcast clips out of context where he's saying, you know, seemingly very like negative or off-putting or weird things about Kristen Bell. And look, I figure it's only a matter of time, you know, until like the internet turns on me and you, and they think that they try to give me the Dak Shepard treatment. So just in order to make those kind of future negative edits of me very easy, I'll just kind of like to kind of throw out some little sound bites here. Dana, I hate you. I think the things you think are cool are actually really dumb. I think that you should be attacked by a vulture. And then in the future, like someone's going to put that in edit and they're going to be like, does anyone else think it's really weird that Robert said Dana should be attacked by a vulture?
But then also I'm going to have a bunch of things where I'm just like, ha ha ha, that's so you, babe. Ha ha ha, he thinks I should be attacked by a vulture.
And then all the comments are going to be like, she's only saying that's okay because she's afraid of his vultures.
Yeah, because I'm afraid of his vultures. And that's why I'm saying that. And I'm just laughing because I know that's the only way to avoid being attacked by his vultures.
Yeah.
Save me. That's for the edits.
Save
me.
I thought that Dana, did anyone else think it was a bit of a cry for help when Dana literally cried for help?
Help! He's bad.
I am a bad partner. I am evil bad partner.
Ha ha. He's such a bad partner. I wish someone would help me.
People like, there seems to be a subtext of him being bad and her needing help.
But no, I don't need help.
You ever walk into a public restroom that's so dirty that it goes beyond, oh, this is a dirty restroom, and becomes like, oh, this isn't even a restroom anymore?
Okay, I get so confused. Sometimes you'll walk into a restroom and like in multiple stalls, there will be like a weird mountain of wet toilet paper. Sometimes with like what's visibly urine on it. Sometimes just like wet for no reason. Sometimes with like period blood. Sometimes with shit, if you will. And I really do. I go into these restrooms and usually, you know, obviously the grossest restrooms are these like kind of dirty public restrooms. But in my heart, I'm like, this isn't there's not enough cleaning staff problem. This is a humans, what's wrong with you problem. Like, they literally makes me go like, who is the person who did this, and are they okay?
Well,
Can I
we've
talk
all-
to their mother?
We've all walked into like really dirty bathrooms and you'll look into a stall, into a toilet where it's like a pile of shit and toilet paper.
Yeah.
And what I want to know is like, who was the last person to contribute to that pile?
Yes.
Who was the one who looked at a toilet that was only 2/3 full of toilet paper and shit and thought, I think I can
Just
make it work.
room for one more.
Room for one more.
But like, no, but
he walks up and he takes his top out.
Yeah.
Hello, gents. Room for one more.
I guess to me, I always assumed that was always the work of one person. To me, like that
created one
always
massive pile.
always read like solo culprit to me, because like I have a very hard time believing someone sees like a small pile of poop and toilet paper and goes, "Let me make this bigger." To me, I'm like, it's one psycho who makes a huge pile and then like no one uses it after that.
But that makes
That's
the
my
most
assumption.
sense in terms of like motivation, but
Right.
it doesn't make sense in terms of like literal
how big it
output,
is.
because
No,
who
truly.
could do that?
Well, who has that much poop in them?
Well, dude,
Ugh.
because we both were at the
Yes.
same mall and we
Yes,
both
we
went
to the
to
same gross
different
mall,
restrooms.
and we went to different restrooms at the same gross mall.
But at this restroom that I was in, not only was it out of soap, but there weren't even soap dispensers. It was just like a faucet. There was no soap dispenser anywhere in there. So I'm like, even in its heyday, this bathroom had no soap.
Yes.
What was the idea here, folks?
And in the woman's side of this public mall restroom, I will say there was soap dispensers, but none of the sinks worked. So you couldn't rinse. I put a bunch of soap in my hands, obviously assuming that I would be able to rinse the soap off. You know what they say. When you assume, you leave the bathroom with sticky soap hands. In this case. But yeah, the restroom was nasty. And again, I think it's partly like, okay, clearly they don't have cleaning staff. But again, I'm like, who the frick are these patrons who are so fucking vile? Who are you vile patrons of these restrooms?
Well, also it was one of those
If you've ever contributed to a shit toilet paper pile in a public restroom, a comment down below.
And actually, we're going to give you temporary like leniency and
Yeah,
clemency.
yeah.
We just want to know how you did it.
We want to know how.
It's like when the FBI tries to like broker a deal with
Yes.
someone who pulled off a heist. It's like, look, tell us how you did it and why,
Yeah.
and we'll let you off.
Well, it's like the guy who Catch Me If You Can is
Yeah.
based off of. Famously, if you haven't seen it, the Steven Spielberg movie Catch Me If You Can, where Leonardo DiCaprio plays a brilliant fraudster. The guy that they caught, they literally didn't, like, he didn't have to serve that much prison time because he helped them catch other fraudsters.
Yeah.
And so that.
It's
but
like that but you contributed to
you're
a poop pile in a
you're
gross
weird
restroom.
poopy bandit.
Yeah. Dude, this bathroom was so dirty that I was looking at the faucet to wash my hands and I was
Yeah.
literally doing the math of like, I feel like when I turn on the faucet,
Poop
that
will
will
come
give me...
out? Sorry.
No. I was going to say there was like the faucet term had to be dirty. No, I wasn't worried that a stream of poop will come out.
Okay.
It's also like you dove in there. You're like, I know where you're going with
Yeah.
this.
No, I didn't.
You're going with poop will come out.
I thought that's where you were going.
To be fair, I mean, like that'd be funny if that was where I was going. It wasn't though.
Well,
Anyway, tell an unrelated story.
wait,
Poop will come out? Is that what you were saying?
it actually was, Robert. It actually was. Okay, let's do. So Robert and I have decided that we're gonna do a new segment on this podcast where we start beef with a random celebrity. And today's celebrity, hey, it's George Clooney. We're coming for you, George, Mr. Clooney. Would you like to start, Robert? Are you getting cowardly? Actually, and just so you know,
Yeah.
George, I actually really like you, and everything
We're
I'm
gonna
about
have
to
a
say is
segment
just a
where
little
we're gonna
joke.
tell a random celebrity to fuck
Fuck
off and
off.
eat shit. And I just like to say that celebrity is George Clooney. And to George Clooney, I'd like to say my co-host has something they want to say.
George, you are pretentious. I don't think this is the first time you've heard this, but you are just a little shithead. And I would just like to say that we all see your little statement about how you think that Kamala shouldn't have run, even though you were the one who suggested in the first place that Joe Biden step down. And that is very rude. We also saw your little interview clip where you talk about how you don't like to live in the States because you prefer your house in France because of laws about your children not being able to be photographed, which, as I say, that sounds reasonable that you wouldn't want your kids to be photographed. But is this a bad segment?
No,
Go
it was
ahead.
perfect. No, it's fine.
But yeah,
I just
George
seemed
Clooney,
like you were on a
you're
roll.
why Joe Biden didn't run in the election. So to now come forth and be like, yeah, that was a weird idea. Why don't you guys just run Joe Biden? We see you and you're sick, sir.
Well, to preface this, maybe give us a little background, little context.
Okay, sorry.
So George Clooney recently said that it was probably a mistake for Kamala to run for president. That was A, that Dana was reacting to.
Yes.
And B was he gave an interview about how he loves to live in Paris, France, because it's like a good place to raise a family because there's laws against photographing children. George Clooney said that Paris, France is a great place to raise children because there's laws about photographing kids there. And it's like, I gotta be honest, not to hate on the French, but I bet like the French reason for having laws against photographing underage people is because those underage people are probably with their overage, creepy old men boyfriends.
France, the land of pedophiles.
Yeah. The French are probably like, hey, you cannot photograph that 12-year-old. That 12-year-old is some old man's wife.
That's someone's wife.
Yeah, that's someone's wife.
Someone's fucking wife.
That's
okay?
someone's fucking
You can't
wife.
take a picture of that kid because that kid is someone's fucking wife.
Dude, George Clooney, and here's my beef with Clooney. Clooney is this, he's so smug about being self-aware. And then it's like, then you remove any credit
for being self-aware. Part of why it's appealing to be self-aware is that it demonstrates like, oh, I'm aware of like my shortcomings as a person, and I'm going to, now that I'm aware of them, take measures to fix them or correct them. Not just state like, here's everything that's bad about me and I'm gonna continue to keep doing those things.
Well, George Clooney also was like, I finally moved to Paris, France, and it's so much better than the United States. And I'm like, wait a minute, didn't he live in Italy famously? So
well, he says that too in his interview. He goes, yeah, no, we're living in France now. Obviously, we still have our place back in the States, and we do still have our house in Italy. But yeah, it's just so much better in Europe because
also,
of the laws about photographing kids.
Also, the gall for George Clooney to act like he left his Italian estate for his Paris estate for like down to earth reasons.
Yeah,
it's like, just say you like living in like a beautiful city in a beautiful place. Don't act like you're like reluctantly living in some chateau.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just for the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm drinking the best wine anyone's ever tasted every night, but it's just for the sake of the children.
And I think in general too, I'm just like, no, the fact that you married like a politician,
I think she's
diplomat.
a lawyer.
Oh, she's like but
she's a
like,
human rights lawyer.
Okay, whatever.
We don't have to drag her into this.
Okay.
She's not our celebrity. She's a great figure, probably.
But I think that marrying her was pretentious of him.
Yeah. What? Hey, George, why don't you marry a scumbag? You really want to be an ally to the people? You marry a rando. Matt Damon married a rando. He married like a grocery store clerk, I think.
See, to me, I'm like, okay, but that's almost like, okay, what are you trying to prove? I guess really no one can do any right in my eyes.
We don't like celebrities.
Maybe.
No matter what they do, we don't like it.
Maybe celebrities can't win. Oh my God, that's so sad.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually have a lot of thinking to do, and I think that actually it's really hard to be a celebrity, and I have a lot of empathy for celebrities. My heart goes out to celebrities. I'm with you. I see you.
Here's my thing with George Clooney. I think there has to be a rule of like, you get to, okay, George Clooney, if you want to pick the president and tell people how to live, you need to make good movies.
That's
the trade. I'm actually not even against celebrities telling me what to think and who to vote for. In fact, how else would I decide if not?
True.
You know? But I am like, you gotta be giving me good movies. So when George Clooney was coming out with like Michael Clayton, Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, the other ones George Clooney was in. I honestly wasn't a big George Clooney guy.
In Ocean's era, Clooney could tell me who to vote for, but. What is a Wolf's era Clooney? You shut your freaking trap.
Good Night and Good Luck on Broadway era Clooney?
Did they do Good Night and Good Luck on Broadway?
Yeah. With George Clooney. I'm sorry.
Okay, here's also my take. Okay, a lot of times celebrities will do Broadway and they'll like take a pay cut to do Broadway. Here's my hot take. I think celebrities should have to pay us when they're on Broadway.
Yes.
I think it's like, no, let's go one step farther. Not just you're making less money than you would in the movies. You need to pay your audience if you're going to do that.
If George Clooney is going to be on Broadway and they're like, it's $170 a ticket, that should be paid to you.
$170 for me to watch you do this schlock. Yeah. All right? Come on.
Also, I love it whenever like movie stars are like, my first love is the theater.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's not true, because if that were true, you could literally do theater all the time.
Yes.
You could do 100% theater.
Yeah.
Oh my, I really just love the theater. I reluctantly do the shit that makes me super famous and tons of money that you all know me for.
We know.
Also, theater is, you could literally do theater everywhere. That's why also like all these actors who love to be like, oh yeah, I don't even do it for the attention. I just do it for the craft. I just act for the sake of acting. It's like, if that were true, you would be in a community theater production every night.
Yeah.
And then you would get no attention and it would just be acting.
Yeah.
And it would suck.
And it would not be
And by the way, there's no shame in you being like, oh, that would suck, so I'm going to make movies. Obviously.
Yeah.
But don't pretend.
I think basically what we're saying is that we don't like when celebrities pretend. And that is kind of ironic given that their whole job is pretending.
Well, that's why, again, as I always say, my favorite celebrity is Gwyneth Paltrow because she doesn't pretend. She doesn't make one. Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't want me to think she's like relatable to me. She wants me to think she's like a god on Olympus, like drinking kale smoothies and doing yoga that I'm not even, elevated enough to understand.
And we do. It works.
That's true.
We think that.
Gwyneth Paltrow's like, you should think of me as like an alien who's above you because I am.
Yeah.
And that's what I think of her as.
And so I think, more celebrities should just be like, I'm an alien who's above you.
Meanwhile, George Clooney's trying to be relatable to like normal people. It's like, hey man, I put my boots on one step at a time. I walk out of my Paris chateau and I say, please, no photos, just like you.
Just like you. Walking out of my Paris chateau.
Yeah.
Anyway, so George Clooney, if you're watching this, probably you are, you sick little Midnight Milkshake fan. Fuck. Just knock it off.
So that's a segment we're dancing
We're
around
workshopping.
with.
We're
We're
workshopping.
workshopping the segment.
If you have any celebrities that you would like us to tell off, feel free to drop them in the comments and we will think about it.
We should also probably say that politically speaking, we align with George Clooney. In fact, I align perfectly with George Clooney because my politics are I do whatever George Clooney tells me to do.
Well, in the Ocean's era.
Ocean's era Clooney.
Things are not... For me, I don't say where I stand politically.
Ocean's era George Clooney could tell me who to vote for president. Michael Clayton era could also tell me who to vote for president. Fantastic Mr. Fox era George Clooney, he could tell me who to vote for like, a
local election.
A local election, a House of Representatives election.
Comptroller.
Modern day Wolf's era George Clooney, it's like you can't tell me to vote for like a city comptroller.
No.
You're not even at that level.
No, you're not comptroller level anymore, George Clooney. You can't tell me who to vote for the Teen Choice Awards or American Idol or Love Island.
George Clooney could not tell me who to vote for Love Island.
You can't tell me who to vote for Love Island.
That'd be so good if George Clooney, instead of writing op-eds about like Joe Biden is too old to run, he's writing op-eds about like Iris's connection with Pepe is inauthentic. And we need Pepe to step aside.
But to me, I'm like, that's valid. If more celebrities wanted to like weigh in on reality TV voting, I would have way less of a problem with that.
Yeah.
That being said, they actually might catch more heat from the public for those advisories.
Dude, every time I look up a new member of the Love Island cast has been like low-key canceled, and I'm like, they're just getting dropped like flies over there.
It's kind of brutal. It low-key does seem like too, like nowadays in the internet era, going on a reality show is just like where normal people go to have their lives totally blown up and to be called a bad person by 10 million strangers.
Well, it is like the thing about it. I do think like Survivor though is a very empowering it's a very empowering reality show to go on, but it is Love Island. It's like you're basically playing Russian roulette and the gun is the internet.
The gun is the internet. Will the internet decide to point the gun at you?
Yeah.
Will the internet decide to search your name and a slur on Twitter?
Yeah.
And then do what they will.
And then do with it what they will.
Do with it what they will. And that is the gun of the internet.
Well, it is funny because I saw like Love Island's been over for months now. And I don't even remember the controversy. So don't even come at me I didn't even read what the controversy was. So if it's whatever. But they were like, ex-cast member needs to be held accountable. And I'm like, you guys actually don't need to hold this cast member accountable. You don't need to think about this cast member ever again. The show's over.
The
It's
island
done.
has just sank or whatever happens when
Yeah,
they're
they
done.
sink the island at the end of Love Island.
They're just like...
They blow the whole
it
thing
up.
up.
Yep.
How badly do you want love?
Hey, I need to get my phone for my topics.
Well, no, I have topics, so we're good.
Okay.
We're chilling.
What about my topics?
Well, you had Cloon.
Okay.
You
Go
had
ahead.
Cloon. You had pile of shit.
No, you had pile of shit.
We both had pile of shit.
We
Don't
did.
try to put that on me. Man, we also took the dog to the vet today. I don't know what the vet does to the dog, but that dog is broken after the vet. That dog is psychologically not the same.
I do think, and again, is this different in other cultures? But veterinary Western medicine it seems to be like a scam and a half. And also, my dog freaking hates you guys. Okay, my dog hates the vet.
Well, first of all, the vet always tries to like upsell you things, which look, it's one thing when like you go in for an oil change and they try to get you to like switch out like your air filter or whatever. It's another thing when I go in to like get the dog vaccinated and they're like, ooh, actually your dog needs to be put under an anesthetic and have his teeth deep cleaned. Otherwise, his blood is on your hands. Slides bill for $500.
But also like, okay, you guys, to get your dog's like mouth deep cleaned or whatever, it costs like $2,500. That was the quote they gave me. And so before I knew how much it cost, one time this veterinary assistant basically was like, said to me, she goes, so he's probably going to need a dental cleaning at some point. So you should really start saving up for that. In my head, I'm like, saving up? I'm like, what do you mean saving up? And today, when I find out that it's $2,500, I'm like, fuck, I need to be saving up for this. But here's the real truth. No, I don't. And I'm sorry, but like, I don't know. My dog is built different and he doesn't fucking need that shit. Okay.
It does feel like you're tempting fate by saying that.
Okay.
It does feel like you're tempting the universe by saying that. Here's what I do think. When you're in the vet and they start trying to upsell you things, look, I get it. You're running a business, I suppose.
We suppose.
But it is like they need to have some sort of signal when they're telling you about a service. Like, is this like a for real thing the dog needs? Or is this a thing that like you could do and it would be nice for the dog, but it's not actually going to improve their quality of life or save their life? Like, give me a wink wink if it's like, this is a real one.
One time I did have a veterinary tech who every time he would like say something, he'd be like, so the vet's going to come in and they're going to recommend this. And he would just like shake his head while he was pointing to line items. And I think about him all the time because he was like, just so you know, like, it seems like your dog is okay. He's like, but the vet will recommend this. And he's like shaking his head. He goes, it's $500. Like that. So there are some friendly vet techs who are like trying to help you out. Like they're trying to make sure you don't get got.
They're like righteous moles trying to fix the system from the inside.
And he was doing the thing where he's pointing to line items and he was shaking his head silently going, so you could get this. Shakes head and shouts out to him. I don't remember his name, but it was at a time when one, I didn't have the money, so I'm really grateful. But two, I also was a really inexperienced pet owner, and I had no idea that like a vet would try to grift me. Sorry for thinking that people who pursue veterinary medicine careers are good, upstanding people. And here's the thing: I believe that when they get into the business, they are. Like I believe that everyone goes into like medicine and all of these careers being like, I just want to help and heal.
Yeah.
But then you get there and you're like, fuck, like I have so much overhead, like I have to like pay my rent on my practice, like, like, and then suddenly we all turn evil because of money.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
A scam vet.
Yeah.
You either
Right. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That's about like a veterinarian.
Yes.
That's about any veterinarian.
That's about any veterinarian.
Yeah.
Amen.
Dude, I honestly sensed that once because my dentist, who I do like my dentist, but I notice whenever I go in for anything, he always makes me have like 5 appointments in like a really rapid amount of time. Like he'll come in, I'll be like, hey, this is the problem. He'll look at it and be like, yep, that's the problem. Come back tomorrow. We'll get to work on it. I come back the next day. He goes, all right, we got this. And but there's another thing we can fix. So I'll fix that other thing today and we'll come back tomorrow for the thing you initially want to fix. I'm like, great. Come back the next day. He goes, all right, we actually are just going to take kind of like some x-rays. We're going to take some pictures. And then that way we really make sure we're fixing the thing you want fixed. All right, come back tomorrow. And then I realized like, I've been in there 4 days in a row. And it's because like each time I go in, they can bill the insurance company for a dental visit. And here's my thing. Cool. Do that. Awesome. I'm so lucky to have dental insurance. Bill those people. But it's also like, I need you to fix the thing too.
Right.
Fix the thing.
Right.
Fix the thing and be like, hey, come back the next few days so that we can keep billing the insurance company. And I'll work with you. I mean, I don't want it to sound like I'm like part of any scheme.
He's not part of an insurance scam.
I'm just like, look, dude, just communicate. I'll do whatever. But can we fix the thing first? And then, have me come back for like 10 visits in 12 days.
But that's the thing that like is so like, again, scammy about every kind of insurance is it relies on inefficiencies in the system to exploit. And Robert would know this because he works in medical billing. But it's
I don't work. I worked.
Worked. I meant worked.
Good
I meant
Lord.
Worked.
Don't put that on me now.
I'm sorry.
My first job out of college was I worked in medical billing. I basically made spreadsheets just like with like all of like the data they had. I made spreadsheets of their data. And then sometimes I would visit various like medical clinics and help onboard them into our system, which just meant like the data input system. Dude, it was such a bad job. And I was genuinely so bad at it. I would make mistakes on every single Excel spreadsheet. Again, I remember I got fired from that job. And when I would tell people I got fired, everybody wants there to be some like big story, some crazy controversy, some big catastrophe. And they're like, oh yeah, you got fired. What did you do, man? And I had to be like, yeah, I was just like consistently bad at my job over a prolonged period of time.
Which again is like sometimes that happens too. Sometimes there's no big crazy firing story. Sometimes it's not like, oh, like I got fired. Like, isn't that so sad? Sometimes it's like I got fired and like they were right for that.
And also like my boss, like here's the thing, the job sucked. My boss was kind of cool, all things considered.
Yeah.
Considering like my job was to make spreadsheets and I never made one correctly, he was about as cool as you could be.
Like at the end of the day, you need employees who can do the job. So
I remember like before my boss fired me, he called me into his office to look at a spreadsheet I made and I had made it wrong and he fixed it and he goes, look, if I have to like fix all your work, why would I need you to do the work in the first place? I could just do it. And I admit that is a fantastic
it's a valid
point.
question. Oh, this kind of reminds me tangentially. One time I got a warning when I was working at Gap because I didn't smile enough. And in my head, I was like, if I wanted to fucking smile, I'd just like go be a prostitute. In my head, I thought that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, my smile is too valuable to be wasting it on a random Gap customer. Now I don't feel that way at all. Now I feel like everything I do, as they say, the phrase goes, I've heard it on TikTok, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I live by that now. So if I were to work at Gap now, I would do it enthusiastically and I'd put my whole freaking heart into it and I'd be smiling at everyone who came in. But as a 16-year-old who was told to smile, I was like, fuck you. If I wanted to use my smile, I'd be using it and making way more money than this.
I will say percentage-wise.
Is that the same thing as what you were saying?
I will say percentage-wise, I think smiling seems like a pretty small piece of the pie when it comes to being a prostitute.
Totally.
I think
I meant like the labor that is being in a good mood.
Understandably.
Yeah. And
or seeming you're in a good mood when you're not.
Seeming to be in a good mood, right.
And you were like, if I wanted to pretend to be in a good mood when I'm not, I would sell my body.
I would sell my body, yeah. That was kind of my logic when I was at Gap.
Kids.
That was after I'd already gotten moved to Gap Regular.
All right, well that's good. At least it's Gap Regular.
Yeah.
So, you're gonna Gap Kids to Gap Regular. That is like, all right.
Yeah.
There's a progression.
And then my
there.
manager would just talk about how she worked like 70 hours a week for Gap, and she was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I have to pay off my student loans.
Well, dude, I remember in college I had like an 8 a.m. business class and I was in there with like this guy and I was talking about like doing the homework and I was like, oh man, dude, where do you even find time to do this homework? There's so much homework. And he goes, yeah, I just kind of do it after I put my kids to bed. And in that moment I was like, oh, we have nothing in common.
Yeah. And also, I should shut the fuck up and not complain.
I was like, oh shit, I should just do my homework.
Yeah, oh wait, I can. Actually, it's really easy for me to do my homework, and I didn't even know until right now.
Dude,
I just don't have any problems at all.
My favorite moment in college was when it was an 8 a.m. Again, it was the same 8 a.m. business class, but I was in college. It was an 8 a.m. business class. It was a super hard exam. It was worth like 20% of our grade. Everyone was so nervous about it. So it's first thing in the morning. Everyone's groggy. No one says a word. We file into this classroom. We all pick up our exams. We go to our desks. And then I hear a guy behind me, dead quiet room. He opens up. I hear the papers rustling and he just goes, I don't know any of this. And the room kind of like looks up and he just goes, I don't know. And then the teacher goes, please keep it down and just take your test. He goes, I don't know how to do any of this. And it was just like in that moment, I was like, I think I wound up getting like a B-, which for me, rock on.
Hell yeah.
But I was just like, in that moment, it alleviated so much stress. I'm just like, okay, there's someone in here who literally knows nothing.
Dude, relatable as fuck. Relatable as fuck. I mean, that reminds me of actually a topic I want to talk about, which is like, okay, there's a part of me. If you're on TikTok and you scroll and you're kind of like in a little bit of conspiracy TikTok, whatever, like I am, sometimes you'll see some stuff that's basically like, that informs you, alerts you to the fact that the entire American education system is bullshit. They're brainwashing you. Nothing you learn in history class is correct. It's all a lie. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's all a lie. Martin Luther King wasn't even real or whatever. Like, you learn this in TikTok.
Yeah, whatever. Martin Luther King wasn't even real. Whatever.
But here's my thing. It's like, while I don't think like a lot of it is true, I do take deep solace and comfort in thinking that it might be, because then it makes it so the fact that I didn't really go to school that much doesn't matter, because it's like, oh, if anything, I'm smarter for having cut all those classes. If they were really just trying to wash my brain and fill it with lies.
That being said, I will say the person making the TikTok about how everything they taught you in school was fake, I would also imagine didn't attend school a lot. Skipped a lot of classes. So it's kind of like the blind leading the blind there.
But I always think about that where I'm just like, oh, don't think I cut. They're like everything you learned in AP US history is a lie. And I'm like, good thing I didn't take AP US history then. You know what I mean?
Everything you learned in AP calculus was a lie. And I was like, wow, I was really playing 4D chess when I was dumb as hell in high school.
Like, wow, rejection is God's protection. And by rejection, I mean my choice to cut class was God's protection.
Dude, I didn't cut class at all until college. And there literally was like a light bulb going off when I did realize what everyone says, which is like, wait a minute, I'm never going to grad school.
Yeah.
I don't really care about any of this. I can get a fucking C+.
Yeah.
And it's as good as an A.
Well, okay, I had in my remedial senior math class, I took pre-calc as a senior, which if you...
College or high school?
In high school.
Cool.
If you know, you know. If you're taking pre-calc as a senior, oh baby, you did something wrong. But I'm in pre-calc as a senior, and our teacher was so chill. He literally had no tardy policy. He said, because he's dealing with a bunch of delinquents, if you will. And he had a policy where you could come in anytime. He's like, if you come in 5 minutes before the end of class, I won't mark you absent. Because he just really wanted people to come, and he really wanted to teach these delinquents a little math. Like, it was really important to him. But he had this saying that I loved. Mr. L. I won't out him. I won't out his full name just in case. But he would always say C's get degrees, or he would say D is for diploma, C's get degrees. That's what he would say.
Do D's get diplomas?
D's get high school diplomas. Yes. C's get degrees.
So wait a minute.
So in college, if you want to graduate from college, you have to get C's.
But if you just want to say I graduated
From
high school,
you just have to get D's. You can get D's. You can get straight D's and graduate from high school. You can graduate from high school with a 1.0 GPI.
Yeah, and if you want to just like bring a gun to City
diploma.
Hall, you can get F's.
Well, G is for gun.
G is for gun. It's when you go beyond F and you just go gun.
G is for gun. A, B, C, D, E, F. G is for gun.
A, B, C, D, E, F for gun. Well, dude, okay, all right. This is what's so funny to me. Like, here's what I find. This is where I push back against so much of the modern rhetoric, which is just like, how do we empower every student to get great grades? And, oh, we'll give you as much time as you need on every single test. Oh, we'll let you retake that and do all the extra credit. Take as much time as you need. Oh, if you're not a verbal learner, it's okay. We'll do everything like with written word. And if you only learn with writing and not verbal, you can skip class. And all of these kind of concessions to help students. Here's my thing. I think like all that stuff's like fine and good, but I think the real mission shouldn't be how do we get every student to get good grades? The real mission should be how do we communicate to every student that like getting bad grades literally doesn't matter.
Yes.
Like to me, like if you're the type of person who like you need extra time on the test, I'm kind of like, just take the same amount of time as everyone else. And if you get a bad grade, be like, well, yeah, clearly they didn't give me enough time. And then you can walk around your life with that confidence.
Well, also because if the point of school is to prepare you for life, which it's not, obviously the point of school is to brainwash us and make us believe the lies, as I just mentioned
And the point of school is to give you daycare so that your parents can be kind of worked to the bone by the capitalist labor
exactly.
force.
Of course, it's free daycare for your parents mostly.
Yeah.
But like if the point of school theoretically is to prepare you for life, then if you're someone who needs extra time on tests, what would prepare you best for life is understanding that you are not good at school stuff. That is what would prepare you best for life. And sometimes the best way to find out that you're not good at school stuff is not to get extra time on tests. It's to get C's and D's and be like, wow, I better figure out what I am good at because it's not fucking this, man.
Well, but also I would say that's the more valuable skill to me.
Yeah.
And again, let me be so clear. If you're the type of person who needs extra time on tests, like I literally am not coming for you at all.
We're not
I
coming
believe
for you.
You should like you need extra time on tests. I understand that people learn in different ways. I'm just saying, like, dude, if you get a bad grade, who cares?
Yeah.
And I think that, again, I think that's the better thing to teach than, yeah, take as much time as you need on this test.
Yeah.
The better thing to teach is like, dude, maybe tests aren't for you. And guess what? You can still succeed in life if tests aren't your bag,
Amen. Well, and as they say, A students are teachers, B students are employees, and C students run the mother freaking company, bitch. I saw that on TikTok. Grind set.
Just once, I think it'd be useful
right.
if I just look over your shoulder while you go through your For You page, just see what pipelines are being thrown down.
I get really relieved when you like don't pay attention to me because I'm like, I'm looking at some whack shit on TikTok that I knew if you looked over, you'd be like, you need to stop looking at that. And then I'd have to be like, you don't want me to know the truth.
Dude, everyone talks about the younger generation and how screens are breaking their brains. Dude, those same screens are doing 10x worse to the older generation.
Dude, that's so real. Screen time is so much more dangerous if you're older.
Dude, my dad has not seen any Star Wars movie since Return of the Jedi in the 80s or whatever when it came out. My dad has seen 24 to 54 3-hour video essays about why all the new Star Wars movies suck.
He's in Go Woke, Go Broke YouTube.
Yeah, and he is. And again, he's not trying to be, but because it's just like, he's interested in Star Wars, not enough to watch a Star Wars, but he is interested enough to click on a video called Why the Girls Are Killing Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Hashtag go woke, go
Hashtag
broke.
go woke, go broke.
And it's 3 hours. By the way, I think every Star Wars movie is like 2 hours.
Yeah.
3-hour video essay about how women are ruining Star Wars. My dad doesn't even clock that he's falling down a weird pipeline. And then he'll try to talk to me, someone who has not seen the video essays, but has seen the movies. And he's like, so wait a minute, aren't all these new movies just like, you know, Elizabeth Warren punching Han Solo in the dick? And I'm like, I can't even engage with you. I haven't seen your source material. And also, you think you're starting a conversation about Star Wars when really you're starting a conversation about like why your son now needs to try to limit your screen time.
Right. Anytime you're talking to someone older than you about what they're looking at on the internet, the odds that they're looking at even more AI generated fake misinformation than you are extremely high.
Yeah.
Was that an articulate way to put that?
No, that is. Well, it is
but
just like it's so funny.
The older someone is than you, the more likely that they're looking at more fake shit and misinformation.
Yeah. Like, again, like, I'll see so many articles about, like, Instagram is breaking the younger generation's minds or whatever. And, like, look, maybe that's true, but it's like, at least the younger generations are just, like, scrolling Instagram or scrolling TikTok.
Yeah.
The older generations are, like, in Facebook groups they don't even remember joining. That's all about, like, AI Jesus telling you to like vote for Nick Fuentes as the next president of the United States. And again, they don't even know what they're looking at.
No, Yeah. And again, the only generation that's probably like good at spotting AI actually now is Gen Alpha and Gen Z.
Yeah.
Like they're the only ones who like they innately are like, this is clearly AI. Everyone else is like, that looks real as fuck to me. I saw a fake AI chiropractor videos have been dominating my For You page as well, where it's always a chiropractor. He's about to make an adjustment on like an old lady, and then he just like fucking throws her out a 100-story building window. Those are nuts.
I make videos for the internet, and I'll see things online where people are like, if you make videos on the internet, pretty soon those videos are all going to be AI. And I'm kind of like, what do you mean by that? Because like, I'm not going to make them AI.
No.
And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so how will I'm still going to make my videos.
Well, I always think that too, where people will be like, you know, soon everything on the internet's going to be AI. So like no one will even look at the internet anymore. And I'm like, well, no, they will look at the internet and there will be extra demand for things that aren't AI.
Yeah. Well, it's like Coca-Cola just released a new kind of Christmas Coke ad and it's entirely made by AI. And I'm like, you're just going to get people drinking Pepsi.
I don't think anyone's going to drink Pepsi.
Even if Coke's all AI?
I don't care if Coke's all AI. I'm not fucking touching Pepsi. And Addison Rae smoking a cigarette can't make me do it. You can't make me drink Pepsi. Fucking, and I hate that. I hate that that's so like millennial coded of me to have such a hardline stance on Pepsi Coke. But I'm like, literally, Pepsi is nasty. Pepsi is nasty. Yeah.
Well, I'm a Dr. Pepper guy.
Yeah. And apparently Dr. Pepper, according to TikTok, has magical properties that help you transcend the matrix. That's my For You page.
Dude, it really does suck because it is just like everything that comes immediately before or immediately after, according to TikTok, is just dust. It's whoosh. It's gone. It's nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
There's nothing there for you?
Well, you're saying according to the same source that earlier implied that Martin Luther King might not be real, then yeah, it's kind of whoosh. It's kind of fairy dust.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
It is also funny because it is also funny because Coca-Cola used to have like great ads. That was how they kind of came out on top. You know, they had these great
the polar
ads.
Bear.
Were they the Clydesdales or was that
That's Anheuser-Busch.
That's Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah.
Dude, I hope that they never turn to AI because then they'll have to shoot all those Clydesdales.
Dude, then the Clydesdales will be out of freaking jobs, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
The Clydesdales are going to be like scooping at Baskin Robbins.
Dude, the Clydesdales are going to need those SNAP EBT benefits. And they eat a lot of food. You know, because they're freaking horses, man.